Well, it's day 3, season 5, the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 tournament. And today we feature in two really big teams in this first matchup of the day. It's going to be the Clove challengers, and they are coming up against Real Property Bayleaf Blasters. Mr. Match referee is here, Mr. Carl Felix, and the two captains. We are going to have the toss. All right, Roland, you won the toss. What's your decision?
We'll send him into bat.
Okay, you played your first game. Didn't really work out in your favor. Any changes to your team today?
No, we're playing the same team. We believe in the players. It just happened that the first game of the tournament we didn't perform the way we would like, and we don't believe in making changes that early.
All right, so good luck to you, Roland. We wish you all the best. Maybe a win today could get you some momentum.
Thanks.
All right, Micah, you lost the toss today. Had you won the toss, what would you have done?
First of all, let me thank the Almighty for coming here. We would also had a bowl first.
Any particular reason why you want to bowl first?
Well, yesterday we used that strategy and it worked out, but today is a different game. We're going in here to play cricket. We're batting first. We're going to set a target, 120 plus, and I think we have the bowling to defend that.
Okay, well, good luck to you. Any changes to your squad for today?
No, we're playing the same team.
All right, so there we had it. It's game on. Day 3, Spiceisle T10. It's going to be epic. It's going to be really interesting from here on in. All right, well, that picture on your screen right there says that we are ready and we await the first ball of day 3 of the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 Season 5. I'm here, Clyde Rondell John, and with me I have Justin Hector. And we are going to bring you the first half encounter of today's matchup. Justin, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, good afternoon, rather. It's 12 p.m.
Yes, good afternoon. It's about midday. Another beautiful day here at the Las Vegas playing field. Of course, this morning we would have been blessed with some showers, which I pray no is long gone, and we'll have a uninterrupted day's games. In fact, yeah, we have 2 games today again. So therefore, we hope and pray that it will be uninterrupted, and we'll have some wonderful cricket, just like we had on the previous 2 days.
Well, the weather is certainly fine, and we think we can expect it to remain like this. It's good, brilliant sunshine. As the first game of the day is about to start, we're gonna be seeing the Real Property Bayleaf Blasters. They had a good outing yesterday against the Nutmeg Warriors. And so they will look to continue in that vein of form. The Clove challengers, they lost their last game. And they certainly will want to bounce back. Their first game wasn't really the game that they wanted. But they have had an opportunity to really come roaring back. And so it's make for a very interesting encounter, this first encounter of the day.
Well, of course, and of course the teams who would have lost in their first round would probably want to now come back and try to draw a level and try to win. We probably will see that a similar pattern with maybe, each team sort of not really running away, but probably each team, this team lose to this one, the other one lose to that, and so on and so forth, and level things out as we go on, as we to the business end of the tournament, when probably the teams who are most successful starts coming to the fore.
So we're getting ready for the first delivery. We're getting ready for the first delivery of the day. And first up, Weaver Benjamin and Kieran Katoy. They are the batters out for the Bayleaf Blasters. Mikel Dubisset with the ball in hand for the Clove challengers. So, any moment from now, the umpire will call play. As we see the hand outstretched, and here we go. First delivery, day 3. Just guided there. And no run scored. So Benjamin just looking to use a bit of guide it along. Not really looking to punish anything as yet.
Yeah, well, we've had so many wickets falling in the first over of the games, most of the games we had so far. And also the 1 or even 2 wickets falling very early on. So I think teams will want to preserve wickets early and see what happens. So, pretty short and wide outside the off stump. And Benjamin not too happy that the umpire didn't stretch his arms out. There's only one man in charge of the game.
Well, Dubisset has already had 1 wicket in this year's tournament. This one, it's hit high. It's going to be caught. The man running back, taking a really good catch. Benjamin looking to go after Dubisset. Could only find the fielder at mid-on who had to run back. He did really well. Let's look at the replay here. He fetched it wide outside the off stump. And all he could have done was to lift it to that man there, running back. Look at him go. Jubilation for Clove challengers. They have seen the back of Wavell Benjamin. First wicket, as you rightly said, Hector.
Yes, and one could have seen Dubisset probably bowl into that plan. Short, just away from the batsman outside the off stump and asking Benjamin to fetch it. And he did oblige on this occasion. And once again, well, we probably could record that. First over again, another wicket. And we've had that continuing through the series, through the game so far. But a good start for Clove. They need to redeem themselves after the loss of the first game.
Well, they certainly have started well in terms of redeeming themselves. Dylan Douglas comes out to join Kieran Kotoy. So without a run on the board, the Bayleaf Blasters have lost their first wicket. Dubisset with his steal up. Again, continuing with that plan, just bouncing outside the off stump, just on the shorter side, not really going up to the bat. Let's see if it will continue and how Douglas may just adjust his stance, knowing and expecting that he's going to be short and wide.
Just get the feeling that the batsmen aren't quite yet understanding the pace and bounce that is available to the faster men. And probably we've seen a few too many cross-batted shot too early on. And we've seen a number of batsmen perish in that way.
Well, Dubisset again with that
This time
line.
caller wide. Yeah.
Signal wide now by the umpire. Just going a bit wider than that guideline that is there.
But if that is the strategy of the bowler, well, he has to stick with it because it has worked so far. In fact, he's only, apart from the wide, that's the only run conceded in the over so far.
Yeah, we've seen Dubisset.
Again, up in the air, where's the one gone? But this time it will evade Duncan running back and it goes away to the boundary for 4. So this time it evades Keto, in fact, running back. And it goes away to the boundary for 4. So it works one way and it works the other way.
Well, he was really fortunate there. He got the edge. Luckily for him, it went backward instead of really going upward. And he was lucky to get away. It was always running away from Keto. Keto had to run back. But Douglas will feel happy to have gotten off the mark.
And yet another batsman, it seemed, being beaten for pace and bounce. It seemed like Douglas was very late on the shot, tried to pull, and the ball basically was onto him far quicker than he anticipated. And as a result, had no control over it. But who need control when he picks up a boundary?
Well, over number 2 will be bowled by Nicholas Douglas. Redhead, sorry, Nicholas Redhead. And he will be coming from the pavilion end. Certainly, Redhead, it's good to see him back on the pitch. He's been out of the game for a while. And so it's really good to see him, you know, here at the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 Season 5 with his first delivery. Hitting the bat quite hard. Again, a good start, good line, good length.
Because he had success in the only over he bowled in the tournament so far too. He would want to replicate that and probably pick up another wicket in his first over. And there's no explanation for the fact that we've had wickets in almost every first over of the game.
Well, if this is the trend, then somebody needs to break it. It's really not the sort of trend that you want as a batter. Just on the shorter side there, Redhead. Kotoy not really dealing with it as he would like.
Of course, based on the evidence, based on what we're seeing in terms of the pace and bounce of the pitch, I would be very surprised if we see half volleys and stuff and so on from the quicker men. You really don't need to bring the ball too close to the batsman. You're getting enough assistance with the ball with just back of a length. You don't have to be too short either. There seems to be some pace and bounce and some lateral movement too involved.
Here goes Redhead. He goes up there, tick outside edge, and a catch taken at third man. So again, over number 2, bringing success for the Clove challengers. Look at them. They're jubilant. They're ready. They are ready for this contest. They see the back of Dylan Douglas, who could be a very dangerous batter.
Well, the trend continues. Of course, again, Nicholas Redhead picking up a wicket in his first over again. And so far what we haven't seen is, except for probably game number 1, where we had a healthy partnership at the top of the innings, we haven't been seeing that since. Teams have lost wickets and have lost 2-3 wickets in single figures. And as you see, Narayan going out quite early. I think it's a good start for Belief Blasters. And they would really want to bounce back today, because if they go now 2 losses, it will be very difficult for them as the tournament go on. So they will want to hand the Belief a loss. In fact, they lost to the Belief. Did they? Yeah. No, they lost to the Saffron. Yeah.
Yeah, so Narayan, the hero from yesterday for the Belief Blasters. I think in presenting, he picked up all the accolades. Man of the match, most economical bowler, and the power hitter. So he had all the awards in his favor. Today is a different day, and we'll need to settle in quickly. It's only over number 2, but you only have 8 more remaining. So there's no real time to settle down too much. Head down the leg side.
Right. We probably have to document all the bowlers who have picked up wickets in their first over. Dubisset was one. In fact, he picked up all the wickets in the previous match too. Redhead did. So we probably have to document it, and we probably could call it before it happened, declare it before it happened.
Well, it does
Really
say
interesting.
it does say a lot about the mindset of the opening batters. They are not looking to spare anyone. They're going to go after their shots.
Well, of
This
course,
is what
yeah.
makes for interesting competition.
Of course, Micah Narayan is not the one who is going to go dashing after the ball too early in his innings. I just saw a delivery back of a length, and all he did, he just got into the line and dropped it away on the offside and picked up a single. So he'll basically look to play his ball on his merit and build an inning. But no way he should get bowled out in 10 overs anyway. Yeah, and here is a good shot.
So that one just lifted nicely by Kotoy, really not looking to overhit this one, but just got in line and lifting, opening the bat face to make sure that he got it around the fielders. And clearly over the top, we're still in the power play. Fielders are in, so it's a safe shot.
And it goes to show again how good the wicket is. The wicket is playing. It was not a ball that was pitched up. It was the fact that Kotoy just simply played through the line of the ball and got it over the infield for 4.
Again, Kotoy just working this one. They're looking for 2.
But that's smart batting. You really don't have to go hell for leather at this stage. So 2 overs gone at the end of it. So 13 for 2. Narayan is 1. Kotoy is on 5. Redhead 1 for 7. 1 over for 7 runs. Quite economical.
Well, I know the Bailiff Blasters, they will certainly have their minds set on a total of at least 100, 120. They've not started well. They've lost 2 early wickets. But with the likes of Narayan and Kotoy, they may just take an over, maybe just to see what is happening, to really get a good feel. And then from there, I think they will go very hard to try and get that score up to 100.
If I know Kotoy very well, it wouldn't be long probably before he probably just run at the bowler, just try to break things up a bit. Not sure if it's absolutely necessary at this point, but you'll have to see how Dubisset will go against the lefty this time. Well.
Tell you
Can't
what,
believe it.
that was really well set up. That was really, really a good setup. A catch taken. I mean, just looking at him, looking to try and keep that ball down, I think that was the problem. The field was set for that shot, and he fell victim to it. Fielder not having to move, just slide across and get it into his pouches. And really, the Bailiff Blasters, they will feel that they're up against it.
Yes, well, I mean, and once again, I was just saying, it was interesting to see what lines and lengths he would have employed to the lefty. But indeed, he went similar line to the right-hander. In fact, this one was probably, if anything, outside the leg stump, almost down the leg side. And previously, he was bowling wide to the right-hander. And Kotoy fell right into the trap. You know, just pulling it straight into the hands of the man who hardly had to move. Well, once again, we see another team struggling at 3 wicket down and not quite 13 runs on the board and at the start of the 3rd over. So rebuilding time. And of course, the Blasters, there are some pretty competent batsmen within their ranks. Of course, Teddy Bishop now has just come in. He's basically one of the West Indian cricketers. So I'm sure you'd have seen that and more already in his short cricketing career.
Bishop is off the mark. Just a bit of sensible play. Just try to get a feel of what is happening. So far, Dubiset has really dominated this first 3 overs. Picked up a wicket in his first over. He's in his second over. And picking up another wicket, 2 for 6. You would take this any day in a T10 competition. This time he strays and Narayan getting inside of it and working it past the diving fine leg who is inside the circle. And so 4 runs to Narayan and he's on charge.
Well, yes, just straight onto the pad of Narayan there, and Narayan just whipping it away, flicking it fine. And the fielder, who is a short fine leg, but well to his right, had no chance of really stopping that. And 4-2 Narayan. So he's continuing with his good form. And they would remember yesterday his performance and probably will want to see the back of him as quickly as they can. Up in the air. Up in the air. Keto under it and juggle it a bit, but held on to it, and Narayan is gone.
Well, they certainly say lightning does not strike twice in the same place. And so lightning has not struck for Narayan, but I can tell you, Dubiset has struck. Dubiset has struck a really heart-wrenching moment there. But Keto keeping his eyes on the ball and recovering well to give the Clove challengers their 4th wicket with just 18 runs on the board. This is a dream start for the Clove challengers.
Well, is it coincidental? Narayan yesterday took 3 for 10. He's the 3rd batsman to be dismissed by Michael Dubiset, who has figures now of 3 for 10, 18 for 4. And certainly it's a really worrying period, you could say, for the Bayleaf Blasters. And they now will have to, maybe they will have to depend very heavily now on Teddy Bishop to push them to a respectable total. But it's going at just about close to 7 runs and over, 6.75. And I was probably willing to bet that probably Narayan wouldn't go after one of those deliveries short outside the off stump, but the temptation is there. They're falling behind the rate, had to go after it, and like the previous 2 batsmen, fell prey.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think they have not really done well in terms of focusing on what is being served up by Dubiset. You look at what he's done within his first over, short, wide outside the stump. There's only 1 man outside the circle on the offside, and he is at cover. No, he's bowling short, he's bowling wide. Use the pace of the ball over the man at point and maybe between point and that 3rd man who is in the circle, and you have runs.
Yes, the temptation to play across the ball because it is probably just over the waist and look quite enticing to pull. But most of the time they had to be fetching the ball and having to hit it still going up, still on the up, means that you don't have the control or the body behind it to control it in the way you should. Because all of the dismissal are so familiar. So except probably Kotoy, and that was probably because he was left-handed. Just a loud appeal for a stumping. Good work by the wicketkeeper. But this brings up the end of another over. And things just not going the way of the Bayleaf Blasters.
Well, I don't know if it's a trend, but we've seen again the teams winning their first match and then having a really contrasting second match where they barely get up to 80 runs. I'm not certain it's going to happen here, but possibility exists.
Well,
It's going to take a really outstanding knock from Bishop. He has to remain there for the duration of the 7 overs remaining if they're going to get anywhere close to maybe 100, 110, if possible. Redhead, he's going to continue.
18 for 4. They just cannot be a better time to be bowling. Now you're having a team at 18 for 4. You're right on top. Good line by Redhead. Maybe good. A little bit different to Dubiset. Dubiset has erred around the shorter side. Redhead, on the other hand, has been a lot fuller. Has been probably more attacking the stump a bit more, just the top of off stump. Been making scoring rather difficult. He's in his second over. 1 for 8. Walcott was just come in. Teddy Bishop is on 2. 2 from 2. 19 for 4. We in over number 4. Swish outside the off stump by Walcott.
Yeah, a bit of a naughty shot there. Really not getting across to that delivery. Just throwing the hands at it. Could have gone anywhere.
Probably wasn't too many to throw the hands at so far this morning. Probably thinking that you've seen one now, just the eyes just open up. Looking to crash it through the offside. Again, a good delivery right on target. Really not much Walcott can do. Almost got himself in a muddle there with his footwork. It was the left-hander with Nicholas Redhead coming from right arm over the wicket.
So, Redhead. Good delivery, good pacey delivery. Really had Walcott committed to playing the shot. Really, Walcott found himself in no man's land, not neither forward and nowhere close to the delivery.
Again, Again, some pace and bounce carry, good carry to the keeper. So there is something there for the bowlers. Because we had a shower this morning. Oops. Well, he really shouldn't be standing in the middle of the pitch anyway. So it's probably a reminder. A little bit naughty there on his part, allowing that to go through the hands and give up a single.
Well, I think he was more looking at trying to get the ball to ricochet onto the stump.
It goes right in the middle of the pitch. It's probably the umpire probably will say something to him.
Yeah, but he had to take evasive action. Just imagine you're a fast bowler taking evasive action in the middle of the wicket.
Place where it shouldn't be. There's a protected area there. Again, very tight.
Really doing well so far.
21 for 4.
Only 3 runs coming from his over so far.
It's good to see him back and bowling well. Where has that gone again? Well, this one seemed to have gone Oh, taken again. Well. This time, the Teddy Bishop really has had a torrid time in this tournament so far. I haven't been putting runs on the board. Today, probably Belief needed him more than ever, and he faltered. Delivery again pitched up, and not the length at all there for Teddy Bishop to launch into like that. All he managed in doing is kind of hitting it high into the end. Another juggle there by this time by Darren Ned, but he managed to hold on to it. And the sorry sight of Teddy Bishop coming back to the dressing room, being out for how much is it, 2 or 3? 2. Well, we'll get that for you. But the Bailiff Blasters in real trouble here. 21 for 5 and in danger of probably not getting 60, as we see Imran Joseph going out, and we know what to expect from Imran. What a difference, as we say, what a difference that they can make.
Yeah, certainly asleep and awake, and things change. It has certainly changed for the Bailiff Blasters. I dare say at 21 for 5, we cannot say that it has changed for the better.
It'll be very interesting to see the approach of Imran Joseph. You'll probably say he's most effective with 2 or 3 overs to go, but we just completed the 4th. So you'll have to bat some time today. With half the team in the hutch. It will be Imran Joseph. And Chandel Joseph. Is it?
So another,
Sheldon Joseph, yeah?
Another piece, huh?
One brother with the ball, the other brother with the bat. So there must be some rivalry there.
Yeah, so Joseph. Again, replacing Pacer, so no spinners yet for the Clove challengers. I think they recognize the pace is working. So far, they have been able to keep things rather tight. These two, they tend to go at each other quite a lot.
Indeed.
So it's going to be interesting to see who really gets on top of who here now.
But not only have they kept things tight, they have taken wickets at very, very regular intervals, probably too often for the Blasters' good. Oops, that was very, very wide. I can well probably predict or figure out what most of the conversation would be about now at this stage.
Not looking to give Joseph any room to free the hands. I think this is what Sheldon is going to do. He's going to
so a big swipe at it by Imran Joseph. So 2 explosive personalities. Well, first part of the battle won by Imran Joseph, getting one just on the body and flicking it around towards backward square and getting 4. So he's off the mark with 4. He's 27 for 5. And say a very good morning to Pastor Warm, who has quietly slipped into the chair alongside me.
It's a real sorry sight, though, for Bailey Blasters.
So
Obviously,
another very short delivery. And
hoping that they could have repeated what was a sterling, quite prolific performance yesterday. Now they're reeling at 27 for 5. Both Joseph and Walcott, they've got to do some repair work here. Just having a big swipe at that one. You're at the halfway stage, some 5 overs gone. 27 for 5, the run rate is 5.40. And it's so very important, Justin, what you do from here. Now, one of the things you won't want happen, that is to lose a wicket. You don't want to be losing wickets here. So for the next 5 overs, these two players will have to say to themselves, we've got a repair job to do. Let's see how many we can get. Probably they'll have to set little targets. Let's get up to 50, and then get up to 60. Let's get up to 70, and probably get to a working total of about 80, 90 runs. So if they pick up 10 from here on, over the next 5 overs, it means that they would get 50. And you add 27 to that, that'll be, 77. But they want to even get beyond that. They want to get to, let's say, maybe a 90 at the end of 10. So it's Ned doing the first over. And bowling note to Joseph, who's 4 of 4. If they continue sequentially, they'll be getting to 54. That's the projected score. I don't think that they'll have that in mind. They'll be much more ambitious than that. They need to get between 80 and 90. That's so very important to make this a working total and make that something that they could fight with. Here's Ned. And gets onto the back foot and pulls that one. 4 runs. And I think the moment it left the bat, he knew it was going to be 4. That was well struck. Yeah, just cleared the front leg and hit that. Almost flat batting that, airborne, down to the mid-on area, and it went away for 4. Fine shot. And that's the kind of blows you would need now at this stage. But keep your wicket. That's important. Goes behind the keeper. They go to for a single, and they've got to hurry. They get it in the end. The keeper throwing at the non-striker's end. By the time it got to Ned, the batsman was safely through. Good running there between Joseph and Walcott. Got to be alert. They must have a very good frame of mind. So, Ned, who's not have a ripping season so far, it's been quiet. It's early days in the tournament, however. Driven.
Oh, dropped it.
He dropped it.
He goes for 6.
And then, in fact, goes over the boundary line. See what the umpire would signal? The umpire signal. I think he is just
checking.
Just checking. Maybe you. Yes, now confirm that it's a Carib maximum. So 6 runs. So 2 good blows in this over so far. It's been a healthy over, the best over so far. Ned is now none for 15. He's still got 2 legal deliveries remaining. Moves into Walcott. Walcott is looking to drive that one. Might have just taken his eyes off the ball. Keeper collects behind the stumps. So the run rate has just gone up a bit with a pretty healthy over so far, Justin. It's now 7.20. Not enough though.
You would think so. You think it's really not enough.
Push down to third man and gets a comfortable single. So that completes the over. 6 overs gone, 4 remaining. 43 for 5 Bailey Blasters. And the run rate now 7.17.
Yeah, 43 for 5. It's well, nothing compared to the position Bailey Blasters found themselves in yesterday, and it could have been worse had Huston Jackson hold on to this one on the boundary. In the end, they pick up 6. So a little bit more respectability, but they will need to do a lot more than that if they're going to get to 80 or 90 or probably 100. Of course, they got the firepower out there in Imran Joseph, who can hit it a very long way, and also Dwayne Walcott has shown that he also has the ability to hit it to clear the boundaries.
Well, let's see what Joseph will do. So here's Joseph to Joseph, way outside the some sprayed. That's a bad delivery. Maybe just trying to keep it wide of the batsman, asking him to reach for it. But it takes a great deal of skill, Justin, to aim just inside that guided white line and spring a little outside. It does take another delivery, this time called legal by the umpire. And it's a skill that you've got to keep working on. It doesn't come on game day. You need to practice that just a little on the wider side and not letting it go outside that guided white line. Sheldon Joseph leaves that in the air, and that goes...
dropped again.
Oh, he dropped it.
Well,
Can't believe
this
this.
time...
Is that Ned?
Ned.
Yes, dropping the catch.
Put it down.
And boy, he had eternity to settle on the... We've seen some bad misses. That's one of those. Didn't cue that well at all. Oh, that should have been taken. It really should have been taken. And when he caught the ball, sought to catch it, he was still on the move. And that's one of the reasons why it spilled, and maybe it was hard hands too. This time goes over the keeper's head. He could do nothing about that. And that goes for 4.
Yes.
Nothing whatsoever he can do. Just look at it sail over his head. Down to the boundary for 4. Fortune will favor the brave very often.
Maybe just some emotions out there.
Over number 7 in progress. So a bit of restoration work here by Walcott and Joseph. Joseph taking strike. And Sheldon Joseph, who would not be happy with that miss by Ned, will go back and it's got to try again. How it bleeds the heart of bowlers when fielders do not support them. Onto the back foot and just clips the ball out to redhead behind. It's got the ball traveling much too quickly for a single. Dot ball. I think Clove challengers will be very pleased with the performance this morning. Here's Joseph again. Turns it again down to red. This time they will, in fact, get the single.
Almost a body line approach from the one brother to the next, from Sheldon to Imran. Quite a number of balls on the short side. And one can see almost like it's been anticipated by Imran.
Here is the final delivery coming up in the 7th over. That he lives straight down the ground, fine shot. That's gone all the way. It has. Beautiful shot. And that's carriacou hit maximum. Yes, he really launched into it and hit it severely over the wideish mid-off area, and it went over the boundary line for a 6. That's a lovely way to end the over. And after 7, it's 56 for 5. And the run rate just creeping up gradually. It's gone to 8.
Yes. And different approaches by the bowler to one batsman or the next. He seemed to be going slower balls to Walcott, but has approached a much shorter length to Imran. And could that be probably the partnership that would restore some respectability to the Blasters? When in fact they have done so already to a certain extent, and they would probably want to take it to the end with what, 3 overs to go. They would want to probably get another 30, 40, or probably if they can get more than that, it will certainly help. But
yeah, they would want about 90, at least 90 on the scoreboard. Jackson is into Joseph. Joseph makes room and looking to swing, but he took his eyes off the ball, I would think.
So
he's a strong man, rather muscular, and he can certainly pack a punch. Is Imran Joseph. He will need that now at the back end of this innings. Just makes a little room and pushes it down to long on. Will get just a single.
2.
They did get 2 rather. My eyes just followed the ball, sorry. So they got 2. Yeah, that's right. Push for the first run quickly.
Jackson, of course, who would have put the catch down on the boundary earlier on. And we see the captain saying to him, no, make amends with the ball in your hand.
Let's see whether he can do that. They will get what would be considered a bye. I think let's wait to see what the umpire would say. He didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, he's just signal. Just seeking to make room outside the leg stump, Imran Joseph. Might have been the slow ball too. Walcott now comes into strike. Walcott 17 or 15. We've seen quite a few attempted hits and misses during this inning so far. Nobody has really cued it very well. There have been the odd good shots here and there, but by and large, I believe Blasters, they've not really looked good. Down the leg side, wide confirmed by the umpire.
He looks surprised, I don't know why.
So the tournament into its 3rd day. Still early days. So no team can really boast about going right through as yet. It's early times in the tournament. turns it neatly, gets a single. Now it's gone to 61. Just a one delivery remaining in this over. Over number 8 in progress. Things have gone on rather quickly at a frenetic pace. Not necessarily the score, but the wickets have fallen so quickly. So there's been a steady march of batsmen back and from the pavilion. Turned upon the onside down to wideish long on and single. I'm sure that Clove challengers, Justin, will be very happy with the performance so far.
Well, the Bailiff Blasters would have looked at the previous performance and you probably beg the question, what is a good total batting force against Clove after the last performance? They really didn't have a good outing with the bat. And they would probably think that they can post a total which probably somewhere they can get, as you say, close to 80. That may pose a challenge to the Clove challengers. Having gotten what? I think it was 78 or something like that in the previous game.
So Ned will bowl his second over. He's changed ends, hasn't he? Just marking out a fresh approach. 62 for 5. 2 overs remaining. And they have maintained those 5 wickets, these 2. So they steadied the ship. Now, having steadied the ship, it's now important that you get your cylinders going. Got to rev it up. You've got 12 legal deliveries to push ahead. Here is Ned. Bowls. Big swish by Joseph. I think committing a cardinal error, that is taking his eyes off the ball. It's so important to watch the ball right onto the bat. But I think saw it a bit short, eyes lit up, and swung rather than really looking at the ball right onto the bat. That's key. It's fundamental to good batting. Again, he's pulling, making room outside the leg stump. Wide signal by the umpire. And that one has to do with height. Didn't overstep.
That's one for the over the batsman's shoulder. So he will be penalized if he does bowl another like that. But he will go short, keep going short to Joseph. He really wouldn't want to get pitched too close to him.
Again, Joseph is missing. He might be advised to seek to play good, authentic cricket shot. You don't have to lose his shape. He doesn't have to lose his shape, and he has lost his shape. And I guess you can see some frustration in that his bat has just fallen out of his hand. A suggestion that there is a bit of frustration creeping in. Net to Joseph. Joseph hits that one in the air and will go all the way. 4 runs, just bounces a couple of times over the boundary line. Well, finally he's able to free himself from the shackles. Ball taking more the outer portion of the bat and going over the cover area and into the boundary for 4.
Ned just becoming too predictable, and Joseph setting himself. And in the end, making reasonably good contact, because there's a fielder out at deep extra cover and he couldn't get around.
And this one is lifted down to the deep mid-wicket area, and it goes right to the fielder, caught down there at the deep mid-wicket area. So there goes Imran Joseph looking to find the boundary over mid-wicket, and simple catch down on the deep mid-wicket boundary. So Bailey Blasters lost another wicket. It's a good partnership by those two, but he's got to go.
And probably a wicket they can ill afford to lose at this stage. Probably is the one man who can maybe score very, very heavily. But that's the case. They have struggled all through the day, 67 for 6. And Dante Alexander makes his way out. He can hit a couple hefty blows too, but it's be difficult to see with only 8 deliveries to go, 67. So 80 is probably still in the reckoning.
Yeah, the projected score is 77, but as I emphasize, a few overs ago, it would be so good if they get up to that 90 mark just to make it a bit competitive. As Deontay, of course, just taken what seemed to be a middle stump guard. And here is Ned. Spotted his approach. Maybe not quite happy. Dante Alexander, of course, who is a tall man. It's good reach. Here is Ned. Ball is Yorker-like. And I don't think that Alexander knew much about that. Ball hit the pad cannon out on the onside, and Charles from behind the stumps running across to his left, peeling off the right glove rather quickly. It's rather alert. Driven down to the mid-wicket boundary and can get only the single. So the over comes to an end. 9 overs gone. 68 for 6. Just a 1 over remaining.
Yeah, 68 for 6. And really, the Clove should feel very, very confident. And I'd be very surprised if a total like this cannot be overhauled. There is no devil in the pitch. The pitch has played well. There is some pace. There is some bounce. The ball is coming on to the bat. And I think really Blasters can only blame themselves for the position they're in. Quite a few very injudicious shots earlier on in the innings. And as a result, the Clove Challengers is really in the ascendancy. Although runs on the board is runs on the board.
Yeah, but they must be disappointed with 68 for 6 after 9. Here's Jackson with the final over, moving into Walcott.
Once again, Alexander having a big swish outside the off stump, not getting across to the off stump. Just standing there and having a swipe, not making contact, obviously. So another dot delivery. Every dot delivery makes it even more difficult for the Bailey Blasters.
Here's Jackson again. Lifts that one down the ground, and it has gone, well, maybe just pulled back inside, and they will come back for the second run.
Well, it was a tremendous effort down on the boundary. It went down there. It was high. The fielder came around, and he went very high in there. Couldn't quite hold on to it, but did manage to throw it in just before he went over the boundary and saved what possibly could have been 6.
That one is going to
go for 4.
Go for 4 leg buys. Now signal.
Buys.
Yeah, seeking for the seeking for the.
Did he get an edge?
The Yorker, no. Umpires just signaled that it was leg buys. But he was making room outside the leg stump. That's Alexander. And Jackson saw that and followed him. Ball cannon into the pad and then went. Even Charles, diving behind the stumps, couldn't cut it off. So the Clove challengers wouldn't mind those singles at all. They don't want big boundaries here. 75 for 6. 2 legal deliveries remaining. They must be very happy, Clove.
Indeed, they must be. What they probably in the back of their mind too is that they would have gotten 78 in their previous match.
Here's Jackson with the responsibility of bowling the final over. Bowls, and Walcott looking to maybe just squeeze that square of the wicket on the offside. Doesn't make contact. And Charles from behind the stumps just moves across to his right. Collects. So here's the final delivery of the Bailey Blasters innings. Can they do something magical with this? Maybe hit a 6 or a 4. Here's Jackson in, bowls, and slices that down to the backward point boundary and goes over the boundary line now for 4.
So a good end and a good end by the Bailey Blasters. In fact, it goes for 4. I thought they would have questioned the height a bit, but in the view of the umpire, it was legal. So that's the end of the innings. At the end of it, 79 it is for 6. And it means that the Clove challengers will have to get, 2 more runs than they did last time, last outing. They got 78. Now they have to score 2 more in this innings to overhaul the total made by the Bailey Blasters.
Yeah, I think they'll be very happy, Clove challengers, to shut down the potential brilliant batting of Bailey Blasters and to restrict them to 79 for 6. That's a very, very good performance. Really very good. And needing just 80 runs of 10. And I think you'll have to perform really badly, Justin, not to overhaul 80 of 10.
Indeed. You get that feeling. But again, until both teams would have completed their innings, it's very difficult to make a prediction, and especially where the cricket game is concerned. They will have to score 80 to win, and they will have the chance in a few minutes to start their innings.
Yeah, Justin, there is in fact a rather sequential trend where in all the matches so far, and they have been 5, a wicket has fallen in the first over.
One or more. One or more wickets
One
have
or more.
fallen in the first over. And it's difficult to explain, as I said. There is no devil in the wicket. There is no, but it just crept up. Well, I think Bailey Blasters will hope that the same happens in their quest to restrict the Clove challengers to a total under, less than 80. Will that be possible? Is left to be seen.
Yeah, well, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. With 80 runs for victory of 10, the run chase is going to be up in a few minutes. Bailey Blasters, 79 for 6 of 10. Clove challengers, they certainly will challenge that. We'll be back. challengers, they need 80 in 10 overs, and they're going to really challenge that total, I would think. Good afternoon and welcome to Rondo.
Good afternoon, my good friend. I was just about to do something, but I'm not going to do that today. Good afternoon to you, Reverend Mom.
You don't do anything illegal, do you? Absolutely not. So I would think was a rather disappointing performance by Bailey Blasters, 79 for 6. Does not suggest the sort of total that they expected, especially coming off pretty exciting game yesterday. Can they defend 79? It's going to be a tall order.
Certainly will be a tall order. I think the start was really disastrous. The batters really not playing according to the merit of the deliveries. Many of them in the top three went trying to pull the delivery wide outside the off stump instead of trying to cut the delivery, and they perished. Let's hope that the Clove challengers will not fall victim to this.
Your thoughts on the pitch, how the wicket has played in the tournament so far?
Well, from looking at the few games that we've had, it's pretty bouncy. Has a nice carry through to the keeper. And the odd one just tends to hold up. Once you try the slower one, you tend to get that little grip coming in there. So I think it's a pretty even wicket. It's good for batting. Batters can still play through the line of the ball.
All right, guys, let's play.
Well, the call to let's play as the Bailey Blasters would seek to defend this. First delivery driven very well. Nice shot there by Jackson. And goes to the boundary for 4. You don't want to be greeted. Your first delivery, Alexander, just driven through the offside along the ground. But this is a nice, fine, beautiful start by Jackson. Didn't try to hit the ball too hard, but just caressed it through the right whitish mid-off area. And it went for 4. Lovely, really lovely. This time in contrasting direction. Turns it out to straightish mid-wicket and gets a single. So positive intent early here by Clove challengers. 5 off the first 2.
Yeah, really good start there for the Clove challengers. Again, Alexander, I'm not certain if he's seen what took place in their innings, but you really don't want to be serving up half volleys on this wicket.
He's into Charles, and Charles is looking to hit that over mid-wicket. You get what happened?
Yeah, ball came off the edge. Really
Yes.
not in a good position, Charles, to play that ball. The body going
Right.
one way, the bat going the other.
And the ball spiraled up to the third man area. Because I really was looking for that delivery to go somewhere through the mid-wicket area. So it's been a dismal performance by him with the bat. Charles, as he goes back, let's look at it again. Now that seemed as though it was going to go over mid-wicket, but it peeled off the outer edge and then went down to third man and the catch taken. Again, sequentially, in the first over, a wicket has fallen.
This has been the pattern so far for the day. And we will be waiting with excitement to see what happens in the next match if
Well, I
the
think-
trend continues.
Yeah, I think Charles should be chided for that. Now, it's not a big total. You've already gotten 5 of the first 2. And here was a good opportunity for you to just play yourself in a bit because it's not a huge total. Now, so that was poor cricket, I believe. Cato comes in to replace him.
I quite agree with you. You have an opportunity as an opening bat to, just spend a little time out there, walk the ball, the singles, the twos. It does add up. Run rate is not too heavy.
Alexander to Cato. It's a good delivery that just brings him forward and pushes it back along the turf. It's been a good day, greeted with a bit of haziness sometime. We did have some early morning showers, but not in any way preventing an on-time start. Here's Alexander. Short, swivels onto the back foot and pulls that behind square for 4. Beautiful shot. It's gone all the way, actually, beyond the boundary for a carry power hit maximum. It was rather flat, and it went all the way for 6. Fine shot.
Yeah, really good shot there from Keto, using those fast hands that he's known for to really get inside of it. Ball just drifting down the leg a bit, and so he just really helped it along. And what was good there is that he got full connection, cleared the road by some distance.
Yeah, it's a batsman who I think maybe personally would be disappointed that he's not gone further than anticipated. A couple of seasons ago people fans felt, and pundits of the game felt that here's a youngster who had the potential to go big, but has never really lived up to his expectations.
Yeah, I want to agree with you there. One still hopes, I think he's quite young still. One hopes that he can really get there. He just needs to be at the middle, spend some time working on that game. He's a really naturally gifted cricketer. One expects that once he puts in extra work, it is not impossible for him to really climb from here. And what's a better story to have?
Yeah, it all depends on how diligent you are, how thirsty or hungry you are, how passionate you are for the achieving of excellence. That's so important. I know there is the importance of mentors and coaches, but how hungry are you? Onto the back foot. White signal by the umpire. Short rising delivery that he looked to whip down to backward square. Doesn't make contact, but wide enough to be deemed a wide. So still the final delivery coming up. Here is Alexander to Cato, and Cato pushes that just out in front of him on the onside. May have cannoned into the pad too. And that completes the over. So at the end of the first over, a wicket has fallen, yes, of Samuel Charles, but Clove challengers, they're 12 for 1.
Yeah, good start there for the Bidif Blasters, the real property Bidif Blasters. And they certainly will hope to pick up a few more wickets as quickly as possible, just to add that bit of pressure. So far, the pressure has been released with that huge 6 from Cato, couple wides, and that beautiful shot that was driven for 4 by Jackson. So far, the Clove challengers, they are in the ascendancy, and they would look to just continue from here.
Certainly agree with that. It's not a big score for the 68 needed. So here is Ramnath. Down the leg side, looking to sweep. Doesn't make contact, wide, confirmed by the umpire. And they've got to be careful here too, for not giving away too many extras. Total is already small.
This one is just lifted. Just look at how easy that shot went over the boundary for 6.
Yeah, it's got to the pitch of it. It was pitched up. And he just came forward and drove it nicely. He was always looking to get under it. And it went over the boundary line for a carry power hit maximum. So important to get to the pitch of the ball. This time he's going to be out caught. Caught a shot, third man. Maybe looking to repeat that. And the ball peeled off the outer edge. It was a very thick outer edge. The catch taken. And so after a hefty blow of 6, there goes Jackson. Caught there at third man. He's gone for 11. And there is another wicket gone. Clove challengers. They're now 19 for 2.
Really interesting position here. Another wicket being lost. And really in the shot may have been there. The ball just seemed to have bounced a bit more than anticipated. And Jackson really couldn't do anything but to get the outside edge. Good catch, good smart catch taken by Alexander in the third man region there. And so they will be happy, the Bayleaf Blasters. They've picked up another wicket. One more wicket here could really bring a nice air of drama to this game that we have on here now.
Yeah, you're sure right. You know, with 2 for 19, then if they're 3 for 25 or 3 for 30, then the Cats might be somewhere in the pigeons. And we know exactly what happens when the cat finds himself among the flock of pigeons. Well, the new batsman is Darren Ned, who's really, I've seen him play some innings in the past. They've been stunning innings. And here's a fine opportunity for him just to retrieve those performances with both bat and ball.
Ned is quite an accomplished player.
Turn behind the square to the right, to the left of the square leg umpire. So that's in front of square, beg your pardon. And gets his first run. Brings Cato now into strike, who is 6 of 3.
Has to be careful here. I'm not a tricky customer. Again, just spearing that one into the legs of Cato. Really had no answer to it.
Yeah, and Cato was looking to hit that over long on and was very unbalanced, off balance, with that effort. Looked rather ungainly in the end. I think we've got an interesting contest on hand here. Into the second over. It's nothing to do with the run rate because it's healthy so far. We'll get a single just pushed out on the offside to mid-wicket. So Cato's moved on to 7 of 5, brings Ned into strike.
Apart from that blow for 6, Ramnath has done well.
That one is lifted down to the deep backward square area and it's gone for a maximum. A carrier power hit maximum, bat delivery outside the leg stump, and just swiveled onto it and pulled it behind square for 6. And you don't want to bowl your final ball of the over like that. And after 2, it's 27 for 2.
Yeah, there I was just giving him some compliment, you know. Bowling despite the 6, which was a really good shot. I think he came back well and just airing here now to give up another 6. At this stage, this is not what the Bayleaf Blasters will want. They want to keep it as tight, build that pressure so that they can somehow try to stifle the batting of the Clove Challengers.
So they still need 53 Clove Challengers. And they've got a lot of balls to get there, 48. That's quite a lot in any version of the game. It's test match cricket or one-day cricket or 2020 and even more so 10-10. This is pushed out to the mid-wicket. The fielder is challenged on the mid-wicket boundary, but makes good coverage and hurled the return rather quickly. Just think they should have run that first one quicker. Put just a little pressure on the sweeper on the boundary. I always believing that, Ronald, that you move fast with your first run. Give yourself sufficient time to think as to whether you should go back for the second, and sufficient time to get there.
Yes.
Sometimes just that little fleeting second may make the difference between getting a second and dismissed.
Certainly agree with you. Put the fielder under pressure. Allow the fielder to make the mistake. You're ready for any slight bobble, any mistakes that he make, maybe taking his eyes off too early. And right there, you can capitalize.
Yeah, some fielders, of course, who lack experience, realizing the batsman has gone for one, and especially you would hear them say 2-2. And that already is heard by the fielder, and he can now be pressured to take his eyes off that one. And he certainly didn't take his eyes off that one at all, Ned, as he pulled it over the wideish mid-wicket boundary for 6. Short delivery, and he hits that for a carry power maximum. Great shot.
Yeah, good shot there by Ned. Really got into position quickly and was able to really get maximum power into that one. Really no chance there for Alexander, who was out on the boundary. He just had to look and go retrieve.
Yeah, right. Go fetch it. It's white, round, and about 5.5 ounces. We've lost a few over the last couple of days with some big hits. Ball cut. Drives, driven well, fine shot. The old-fashioned not a man move.
Tell you what, that was I actually had to look for that ball. It sped off the wicket. I really went to the fence at knots.
That was so beautiful. And it was hit hard. Mind you, you won't want to describe Ned as a big burly figure, but gosh, the timing was superb. It was sweetly struck through extra cover for 4. Oh, lovely. This time, he's off the back foot and smacks that once more. This time it's gone for a maximum. Carry power, hit maximum. And he hit that with some measure of arrogance. Short onto the back foot. And look at it, got under it and lifted it. He didn't want to get on top of it. He wanted a maximum, not 4. Well played. He's quickly gone to 23 of 6. He's taken them apart.
Yeah, what I really love about that shot is that the position that he got in, he was always in control. He knew exactly where he was going to hit it and what sort of power he needed. And he just really is looking in good touch, Darren Ned.
Yeah, well, he is coming for a hammering. Walcott. He's such a wonderful player. Gosh, I can tell you, when he is motoring and he's ensemble, he is destructive, and he's just an absolute beautiful sight to look at. Wonderful player. Sometimes I wonder if he knows how good a player he is. Your thoughts? You know him more than I do.
Yeah, I know that he knows. At times with every player, the confidence tends to drop a bit. Begin to question, the way you play, the fact that you put a little pressure on yourself because you know how good you are, and you allow maybe what you would consider non-deliveries that really shouldn't get you out. You tend to put pressure on yourself, and it could lead into further pressure. So he just needs to clear the mind and really be focused on his game, play to his strengths. And he's a lovely, lovely cricketer to watch.
Yes, absolutely adorable. Down the track. And pulls that. And that going to go all the way again. That's another maximum. I think the bowler saw him coming, pulled it short, and maybe not the right thing. Maybe he should have tried to pitch it up, but he pulled it short, and lifted that over the long leg area. That's gone all the way for 6. Another carab par hit maximum, and after just about 3 overs, after 3 it's 51 for 2. So Ronald John is making way. Of course, he will have to do his post-match interview. But Ashley Cummins has just come in.
Good afternoon to you, Stevenson.
Good afternoon, Ashley.
Good afternoon to all our listeners. It's a beautiful, bright afternoon here inside of Los Angeles and lovely, lovely weekend. So we are seeing quite a lot from the Clove challengers. Those for 51 for 2. Stevenson, are you enjoying this?
Absolutely enjoying this, and I'm enjoying the innings of Ned here. He's not been playing, he's not been slugging, I can tell you what. It's just been fine, authentic hitting. He's played practically all the ball on his merit, and he is oozing, dribbling with confidence. Absolutely marvelous innings of 29 of 7.
Always a beautiful player to look at when he is on the go.
So here is Imran Joseph. That clips that through the mid-wicket area, and they just amble a single. You can see there's this confidence in both players now.
Yes, and this is always important in playing whatever format. Confidence is always needed, whether you're bowling or you're batting. You need to have this inside of there.
So Ned comes back into strike. And is driving well up to long on, gets a comfortable single, and brings Kato back into strike. Kato is 9 of 7, so it's a rather slow-paced innings. I don't think it really matters. I think you've got to look at the bigger picture, what the total is, outside the arse stump. And he got onto one knee and, like Larry Constantine of old, slashed it down to the sweeper position and gets a single. And that's really when you're in the frame of mind, Ashley, where you're so aggressive. Your eyes are open. You're seeing the ball big as a proverbial breadfruit. You can do little or nothing wrong. And that's the mode he's in today. That's Ned.
Yes, Ned has been showing that he has good form, got good hand and eye contact, so he continues to play well, and so too is Kato. Kato is one of the players with talent that I always say is not top as yet.
In the air, hit down to mid-wicket, the catch taken. And so Darren Ned goes, anticlimactic. It was a short delivery, and he got inside the line, looking to help it on its way. Yes, and I think the fact that he made room outside the leg stump, that was a good delivery, I would say, from Joseph, because he was seeking to make room outside the leg stump, maybe thinking premeditatively to hit inside out. The bowler saw that, dropped it short, more into the body, and couldn't really free the arms as he would like. The catch taken at mid-wicket, and so Ned has gone for a cameo, 30 of 9, and Clove challengers, they've lost another wicket. It's now 54 for 2 into over number 4.
Well, that was very smart bowling there by Imran Joseph, seeing the mood that Ned in, just dropping it shorter, and Ned obliged to it, and the ball taken a little bit high up on the bat, I want to believe, and not really getting in the middle of the bat and just peeling the catch. Short inning from Ned, and we see the new batsman and Javid Hazard coming in. Looking at the finals on Saturday, Javid Hazard He was really into it, Stevenson.
Yeah, you got those players who have their particular day, and let's see whether today is going to be his day. I think what's more important actually is how consistent you can be. Not just one innings in every 6 innings that you play, but for every 5 innings you play, you should have 2 noteworthy ones.
Most definitely.
Oh, that was a good delivery. I love it. Short, was a snorter. Imran Joseph dropped his shot, and Hazard had to pull his head out of the way. Lovely delivery to start with. That completes the over. And at the end of 4, it's 54 for 3.
Well, Clove challengers to get 26 out of 36 deliveries. They have it quite easy at this time. I want to say so that they just have to play sensible cricket, play smart cricket. But we have seen Joseph, 2 deliveries, the one that got head out, very fine delivery, very smart bowling. And the first delivery to Hazard really invited him. Take it or leave it. So we see the new bowling change. It's Calvin Brash. He's going to take up the attack from the pavilion end with 54 for 3. A game that Clove challengers, we may say, really have in hand now.
Yes, and I think here's where Roland Cato's got to take over. He's been there for the last maybe 15 or so minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Short off the back foot and cuts that ball down to the long off area, hits it rather straighter than maybe anticipated, and gets a single. Maybe he should have tried to hit that a little squarer and challenge the wideish long off fielder, but he got it much straighter than he initially anticipated. Brings Hazard now into strike. Driving out to short extra cover. Gets a comfortable single. And actually I like this really because I know it's 10-10 cricket and it's short and fast and frenetic. But when you have an equation where your team requires 24 runs in 34, there's no reason to do anything harsh. You just need to, work the ball around when they're boundary balls. You capitalize, but there's no reason you should be rash and get out. Pulls that. Over mid-wicket, fine shot. That's a wonderful shot by Cato. That's gone all the way. Certainly has.
Well, Cato had always had this in his mind to take this one day, and he was asking to be hit, and what a beautiful shot it was in the end. And as you alluded to the condition of the game, it's always a good thing when players can suit themselves according to the situation. There is nothing relatively to be worried about or to hustle about. It's just about 18 runs to get in 18 balls, so you take everything that you get.
Yeah, and that's why I strongly believe in playing the cricket with your brain. Looking to drive, they go for a quick single, they get it rather comfortably in the end. Must have gotten a bit of bat onto that one because umpire Peters not signaling. Over number 5 in progress, beg your pardon.
Cato is relatively well on top of his game now.
Hazard taking strike off the back foot and just cuts the ball down to point. There's no aggression in the shot, really. Just seemed to tap the ball down to backward point. Just seemed to have lacked effort in that shot. It was short enough to hit much harder, but patted it down to backward point. So I think that one was just pitched up. Give him a little bit more air. The over comes to an end. So we're at the halfway stage. 5 overs gone. Just 17 required of 30, with Hazard just a 1 of 4 and Kato 18 of 11.
Well, there isn't much hard work to be done by Clove challengers. Just 17 of 30 deliveries with the sort of form that Roland Kato is showing outside today. He is going to be taking up the challenge, really putting the team on his shoulder. Hazard may have different thought. He's a much more a batsman that is much more aggressive and will try to score runs. But at this time, it is not actually anything to rush after. So as they continue, Clove challengers 63 for 3 of the halfway stage.
In the air, would that be taken? Dropped just in front of the bowler on his follow through. The keeper was also coming forward. It's looking to pull, took the top edge of the bat, spiral. And there were, in fact, 3 fielders, the keeper, the bowler, and the short third man, or rather gully. And the ball dropping in the midst of all 3.
So from a coaching perspective, you will say the bowler should have taken that catch
Yeah, he's on his follow through,
on his follow-through.
but he would have had quite a bit of coverage to make. When you're on your follow through, you do get up to about a quarter way up the pitch. And then if the ball is airborne, that momentum should take you going towards the direction of the ball. Short, rising delivery. It's interesting, Ashley, that we have seen bounce on this pitch, and you've got to give credit to those who prepared this ground. It's not very often you see pretty decent carry, but bowlers who have just put their back in and bounced it, the pitch has responded.
Yes, definitely. So far, what I've seen, and it is good to have those kind of pitches for that kind of format of cricket. What you put in, that's what you get out.
Kato facing up to Joseph. Pitch right up. Block hole. And that was a good delivery. And I said it's a good delivery from the context that the one before was a short pitched one. This one was right up. And Kato may well have been a bit surprised about it. Didn't handle it all that well.
But so far, so good for Joseph. He is bowling well. He's putting a lot of thinking in what he's doing. Let's see what happens now.
Just pull back in length this time, short and rising. And Kato having a fling at that one. So he's varying his length here. It would be good, actually, to see him bowl the slower one, just for variety's sake.
I like to see when bowlers are having batsmen thinking of the next delivery to come. Short, he went right up. Let's see what he does then.
It's been a good over so far, really good. That was a short pitch one. And the keeper had quite a bit. Let's look at it. Short, and had to really dive to seek to pull that down, and didn't get there, and the ball went through the glove and down to the boundary. But a bit of aggression here
Yes,
by
definitely.
Joseph.
He is showing that. At least Keto, to me, Keto has been unsettled for for the past few deliveries.
I love this. I really love this. This time it's hit in the air. That's going to go over the deep backward square area, and it goes for 4, couple of bounces before going over the boundary line. It was slightly short, didn't get much height attached to it this time, and just pulling the front leg out of the way and lifting it over that mid-wicket area, and went down to the boundary for 4. So the over has come to an end. 6 overs gone. It's 71 for 3. They require 9 runs. 9 runs in another 4 overs for victory. And I'm sure that Clove challengers would be happy with this, and they're saying there's no way we're going to lose this match.
Most definitely. So, but Stevenson, going back to the over, I thought that Imran Joseph has been using his head quite a lot. That last delivery deciding to go into the pitch, just pitching a little slightly short, and Keto deciding, hey, look, I got you this time, and played a beautiful shot for backward of square for 4.
Would have been interesting to see if he had bowled a slow ball. So they're going after this with consummate ease, no major challenge on hand for the Clove challengers, inching closer to the total, just 8 needed. Here's the third man and a backward point. Mid-off, sweeper on the outside. Short rising delivery. 1 for the over signal by the umpire. Alexander now coming into his own. Oh, it's nice. It's really nice. I just love to see those ball bouncers. It's not a good old-fashioned cricket.
Yeah, this is exactly good old-fashioned cricket. I love to see young, strong fast bowlers spearing in and digging it short. Always a pleasure to look at.
I agree with you. When you're young like that, you strap it. You're a young buck. Please bend your back. Use your God-given natural youthful strength. Get up there and bowl the ball. Get it up to 85, 90 miles. They will get a bye. Let's see if the umpire would signal a bye. No, he does. Yes, he does signal. Keeper didn't collect. Ball went behind him. And the fielder there at finally having to run back, cut it off. So, over number 7. 7 runs needed. Once more is Alexander. Could do no more this time. Hazard just pushed it back on the onside of the wicket. The bowler himself fields on his follow through. Was that a slow one, actually?
Yeah, this is a slower one from Dante. Dante has the ability to bowl the slower one, bowl the short one, and got a fast one outside coming back into the batsman. Let's see if he's going to do this time.
Yeah, short delivery outside the off stump, onto the back foot. And just cut that one, Hazard, down to the backward point boundary 4. Nobody moved. Just the sweeper going to retrieve it. It was short and cuttable. Hazard eased onto the back foot and just slapped it down to backward point. 3 needed for victory.
I am really enjoying the maturity of the batsmen thus far in this inning. Just 3 needed. Nothing to rush about.
But they get a comfortable single. Ball is pushed out to mid-wicket. So that completes the over. Yes. So 7 overs gone, 77 for 3. And with 18 balls remaining, 2 needed for victory.
So the Clove Challengers, as you rightly said earlier on, there are nothing much to really challenge them. We have seen some maturity from Ned. We have seen the captain, Keto, I think it is, and now Hazard. They're just playing that sort of mature cricket. Nothing to be rushed up about, nothing to be anxious about, and just play it quite easily as it comes and get home safely.
So it does tell you, Ashley, though it's the shortest version involved, that it's not always bang, bang, lulu. No. You've got to assess the game and play it on its merit. And sometimes you could be less aggressive and still get your work done.
Most definitely so. You call that you play the situation in the game.
Too many of our players, however, get carried away thinking that, well, it's always boundaries. And although the ideal thing playing 10-10, you need 2 boundaries per over, that's the ideal.
Yes, definitely. And most of the batsmen sometimes play a lot of premeditated cricket. But once as I remember reading something on Hashim Amla, he played all the formats, and that is just his style playing. When he has to up it, he up it. When he has to apply himself, he apply himself. And that is always what cricket is asking for, no matter what format you play.
Yeah, what a wonderful player he was for South Africa.
Yes, lovely. I always enjoy looking at him batting.
Yeah, he was a beauty to behold. Did play in the Masters tournament for South Africa.
Yes, yes.
Other players like Ntini.
Oh, this was lovely cricket.
It really was.
I sat down.
I enjoyed it.
I love the cricket, but just reminiscing on the early days of those guys, looking at them in the Masters, so a pleasure to look at.
Yeah, it was rather nostalgic. Short, pulls that one over the deep mid-wicket, deep backward square boundary, and that's gone for 6. And it's carriacou hit maximum, and so this game finishing with a maximum. Clove Challengers, they've defeated Bayleaf Blasters. They've defeated them handsomely by 7 wickets. And it was more like a walk in the park for Clove Challengers in this match.
Oh, what a way to end. They end it after they have played themselves in. They lose 3 early wickets. But Darren Ned came in with 30 from 9 deliveries, which was very, very much tantalizing for the time. And Keto played the captain role, and they just stayed there, steered the ship along, calmed things down, and then you had Hazard coming in and finishing it in the most authentic way with a carry power maximum.
Ned got 30, Roland Keto 22, and Javed Hazard 13 of 12. And there was a wicket for Alexander, Ramnath, and Imran Joseph, who in fact had a good spell, picked up 1 for 7 of 2. And Bayleaf Blasters, of course, just mustering 79 for 6 with Walcott, the top scorer, 22 of 19. Imran Joseph had 21 of 16. Good bowling performance by Nicholas Redhead, 2 for 10. And Michael Dubisset, 3 for 10. They both bowled very well. Darren Ned chipped in with 1 for 22, a bit expensive. But it was a really wonderful bowling performance by the Bayleaf Blasters. And so Clove challengers, they've won by 7 wicket, rather easy victory, and convincingly too. And I think by and large, they could look back on the match, Ashley, and say that they're pretty satisfied with the overall performance.
Yeah, definitely so. Just that believe Blasters, when they look back, they may be saying to themselves another 30 or 40 runs could have just been giving them that edge over, but it wasn't to be. Clove challengers played the better cricket, and so they came out victorious.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good match so far, a pretty good tournament so far. We're into day number 3. So 5 matches have gone. They've not been high-scoring matches per se, with one exception. But it's still early days, and I think the spectatorship will really like to see Ashley scores going over the 100 mark, 120, 130.
Yes, most definitely. When you come to see cricket, you want to see runs going. For me, I always enjoy watching wickets fall quite a lot, but it's always that pleasure to when spectators come, they get a balance of it, the runs going, wickets falling, and when you have the game going, that sort of ways one side on. It's always left that the spectators always would foresee much more runs on the board.
Okay,
than wickets.
I think we've got the post-match interview, and Rondell John is probably not quite ready, but he's getting ready to do the usual post-match interview. Let's go across to Rondell John. No, not quite yet. I think he's still having a bit of audio problem there with his microphone. Once he gets that sorted out, we'll certainly have him. How do you assess so far, Ashley, the tournament, and how's gone rather smoothly?
Well, so far, I've been home, sort of bit busy getting some things done before I really meet here. It's my first time coming for. But for what I've been looking at and listening to you guys, so far, I'm very much impressed with what has been happening. Despite, as you said, the totals have been relatively a little bit low, but cricket is cricket wherever it is, and let's hope as they continue, we see much more.
And some spectators have come out to look at the game.
Yes, most definitely. The buses leaving Granville with the cricket lovers. Yes, coming down to look at the games. Cricket will always be what it is. When it comes to cricket in Grenada, spectators will find themselves there.
We did talk quite a bit about the pitch and how well prepared it has been. Both batsmen and bowlers seem to get quite a bit out of it.
Yes, Stephen, I have been very much impressed thus far with our groundsmen.
Let's go across to Rondell John. I think he's ready.
Okay, so I'm here with Micah Narayan. Micah, really not the result you wanted today?
No, of course not. I think we put into bat, and I think they take advantage of it. Restricted us like 21 for 5 in the power play. I think that set us on the back foot.
You look at the pitch, really not a pitch that would suggest the score. Where do you think your team went wrong?
I think our batters didn't apply the serve. I think the way we went wrong.
Okay, well, this is only your second match. You have a lot more to go. What would you say to your team from this game?
I just tell them, guys, it's all in the tournament. We have a long way to go, so just keep your heads up and we'll focus on the other games to come.
All right, well, thank you very much, Micah, and we do wish you all the best.
So Micah Narayan.
Well,
Micah Narayan having a bit of a disappointing match today in contrast to yesterday, which really was a thriller. And today, in contrast, beaten comprehensively. by the Bayleaf Blasters. So, sorry, by
We're
the
here
Clove
with
Challengers.
the Clove Challengers captain, Roland Cato. Roland, a good victory for you today.
Yeah, most definitely a good victory for us today. After the way we started in the first game, it's nice to come out here today and pull off a win.
You went out into the field. You decided to field actually after the toss. Did everything go to plan, or you really got lucky?
Before the toss, we had to speak to the guys, and the guys say we're willing to bowl, and the way they come out and bowl is they backed up the decision pretty well. If you realize we only bowl pace on the wicket, we didn't bowl any spin because the wicket was a little bit too pace and on the faster side.
All right, so you have a bit of momentum. What can your fans expect from here on in?
I mean, points on the board is points on the board, and the way the guys are feeling in the dressing room now and the energy, they are pumped because after a win. So we just had to keep a calm head and keep coming out here and putting a good performance.
All right, well, all the best, Roland, and we look forward to see what the club does from here.
Thanks.
Well, we have a number of presentations that we're going to do.
Usually there is the Man of the Match award.
But Stevenson, getting back quickly to talking about the pitches. I look at the pitch in Progress Park in the finals of that tournament Saturday. It was absolutely wonderful pitch for cricket. And coming here this afternoon and looking at this wicket, I'm feeling quite satisfied. And I'm talking from a coaching point of view now, that we are seeing wickets that are prepared, and the bowlers, the batters, all have their chances. All depend on what you do, what you put into the game, and this is wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, with cricket these days favoring the batsman so much, it is refreshing when there is a pitch that can just give some assistance to the bowlers, because you don't want your bowlers to be frustrated and feel that it's a batsman's game. So you've got to give your bowlers some measure of encouragement when they get out there to bowl, and they should not be just beaten to all parts of the boundary simply because the pitch has been designed for batsmanship. I know that there should be a slight bias, but that bias should only be slight.
So we're going back to Rundle.
All right, so we have the post-match presentation, and with me here is the Assistant Secretary of the Grenada Cricket Association, Miss Lydia Edgar, and she's going to be presenting the Carib power hitter of this match. All right, so I'm here with Darren. Darren, power hitter yet again. You seem to be middling them really well.
Yeah, I've been coming off the bat pretty well. Can't complain.
In terms of preparation for this tournament, that really seemed to have you. What have you done prior to this?
And me basically just training, keeping myself fit and active, just every game great to go.
All right. What can the Clove Challengers fan expect from Darren Ed come next game?
Well, not only from me, from the whole team, just a win will be good. Yeah, my performance will sort it out.
All right. Thank you very much, Darren, and good luck. So we're going to have the presentation of the most economical bowler, and that goes, or the impact bowler as we would say, and that goes to none other than Mikel Dubisset. And just to let you know that Mikel is also today's man of the match. We'll speak to him shortly after the presentation. Michael, a man of the match performance, 3 for 10 in 2 overs. Did you think this would have been a sort of performance that you expected today?
Well, I didn't expect that I would have gone under 10 runs, but I always back myself to go out there and just try to get up good in the power play for the team.
Well, you came out. The plan seemed to have been short, wide outside the off stump, and it paid off. Was that really what the captain asked of you?
Well, some of the balls were not meant to be so short, but it was just to stick on a line outside the off stump and just bowl to the fielder. I had my protection on the offside, and I just tried to bowl to that fielder, and it worked out for me. Very good.
All right. Well, you seem to be having a good season so far, always picking up a wicket in the first over. The Clove Challengers, they need that sort of thing. So we just want to ask you to continue, and good luck in the tournament.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's it for us here at the post-match presentation. Stay tuned, get ready. We are going to have the evening feature. And so we'll be back shortly with you to bring you live coverage of the second match of Day 3 of the Dream 11 Spiceisle T10 Season 5.